social media platforms up and running, which include YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, and Twitter. So I'm slowly but surely bringing all of those things into the fold of everything that we're trying to do. So again, thank you guys for making the live broadcast. I sincerely appreciate it. My name is Tamani Mwandani. I am a contributing member of the Black Gold Movement to build a Black Gold Nation. Our focus, our purpose is to put our people in a position to win by establishing communities that we can own and control, so that we can give them influence, value, and power that's going to create multiple layers of security around our children and our people. Now, I like to only deal with solutions. I don't like to just come to any live broadcast or to any interview I'm doing and just talk about the issues and talk about the problems. To me, if you're not talking about a solution, then why are you talking about it at all? You're just talking. We don't need people who are just going to talk. We need people who are ready, willing, and able to do. And that's what we pride ourselves on being all about in the Black Gold Movement. We're about doing and finding people that want to do. So I want to deal with very quickly what it means. This is a brief snapshot of what it means to be Black in America and what we're facing as a people in America. And again, this is simply a brief snapshot. This is not an exhaustive list. This is most certainly not everything in its entirety. I will continue to add to this list, but this is just what we're facing right now, briefly in 2019, moving forward as a people here in America. The bottom 50% of our households, Black households, are worth less than $1. We got more brothers incarcerated in the U.S. than all women are incarcerated worldwide. Our Black farmers are still being discriminated against by the USDA. They still can't get the funding and support they need to bring their food to market, their crops to market. Automation, artificial intelligence, and machine language are replacing millions of jobs nationwide. The White House has just removed 3 million people from the food stamp rolls, and most of you probably know that although there are more white people on food stamps than Black people, that doesn't mean that a large number of Black people are being affected by being removed from the food stamp rolls. There's purge activity in our communities nationwide, and by that, I mean there are assassinations coming from the movie The Purge. There are assassinations, murders, kidnappings, organ and sex trafficking, crimes committed in Black masks and skins by white people that look like Black people. So the police are looking for Black people, although someone that's not Black has committed those crimes. Purge activity taking place in our communities nationwide. We have 100 conservative think tanks that are focused on maintaining white supremacy and white power. That is an issue for us. A criminal justice system that's always been unjust. A bail bond system that's always been unfair and unjust. An education system that has never properly educated us or our children. A school-to-prison pipeline that is alive and well and highly functional in American society. A multi-billion-dollar prison industrial complex that you can buy stock in. So if you can buy stock in the prison industrial complex, what is the commodity? Redlining, gerrymandering, and gentrification, which is political power at its finest, working against us, not for us. So if anyone tells you that voting doesn't matter, or if anyone tells you that political power doesn't matter, they absolutely have no idea what they're talking about, and you need to run away from that person as it relates to having conversations about politics as rapidly as possible, because they don't know what they're talking about. Over 900 white supremacist organizations in existence right now, many of whom are training for a race war. Very big problem for us. There have been to date 255 mass shootings in America since the beginning of this year, and I guarantee you there are going to be more. Over the past decade, the annual estimate of the number of gangs we have right now is over 27,000 nationwide. That is an issue for us because, of course, the Black community is preyed upon by both Black people and non-Black people, and a lot of that preying upon comes in the way of criminal and gang activity. And of course, I'm not trying to say that all gangs are engaged in such activity, but there are enough of them that the community isn't safe and our people aren't doing well because we prey on our own people. Flint, Michigan is still doesn't have safe water to drink, bathe in, and use. A large portion of Puerto Rico, which is a part of America, if you didn't know, is still without power after 6 months. I think it's been longer than that. The Donald Trump administration under Jeff Sessions has reinstituted the privatizing of federal prisons, which again means it's for profit. The Department of Justice has proven that cities like Baltimore and Chicago have, quote, engaged in a pattern and practice of conduct that violates the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments. The First Amendment allows for freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press, and the right to assemble and petition your government. The Fourth Amendment allows for protection from unlawful search and seizures. That means that the police can't just search you and or your house without a warrant or probable cause. And the 14th Amendment allows for citizenship and equal rights and equal and legal rights to African Americans after slavery and emancipation, after slavery had been emancipated and after the Civil War. And the Donald Trump administration has repealed civil rights protections all across the country that deal with HUD, commerce, business, and other governmental departments. The point of that list is to paint a very clear picture that our reality in America in 2019 moving forward is different than the reality of other people. We have some very serious issues that we have to deal with. We have some very serious threats that we have to deal with. And we have some very serious organizing and connectivity that we need to take care of if we're going to be able to exist in a fashion that's going to allow us to have a decent way of life in this country, allow us not to be second-class citizens in this country, and allow us to be safe in this country. What we need to do, what we need to have, and we don't have a lot of time to do this, I'll say within the next 7 to 9 years, we have to have Black communities that we own and control. We know who's coming and who's going because we own and control the environment. We got to have Black communities that are physically safe, which means we can protect them. We got to have Black communities that can feed themselves because they are plugged into their own agricultural ecosystem. We got to have Black communities that are educating themselves because we have the institutional structure. We have the persons that know how to educate, know what to educate, and are doing so. We got to have Black communities that have their own economic system, in that we are taking advantage of all of the economic outlets in our communities because we own and control the vast majority of them, if not all of them. And we have our own manufacturing processes, both here in this country and abroad, so that we can both educate, train, and employ our own people. Every Black community in this country has to not only be connected with one another, but we also must have a connection to Africa, our motherland, because that is where we are going to get the most support and the most strength to do what we need to do as we connect with our brothers and sisters, not just in Africa, but in the diaspora worldwide. The melanin population on this planet, people with color, outnumber the non-melanated population 7 to 1. So we absolutely must connect and organize ourselves in a fashion that's going to allow us to win. And every single thing that allows a community to live, thrive, and grow amidst the list that I just gave, we need to have those things as well. So we have a lot of work to do, and we don't have a lot of time to do them. The list that I just gave about the Black reality in 2019 is a real list. And again, it's not a complete list. It's a snapshot. There are a lot of things going on in this country that we absolutely must deal with. We have to contend with. We have to discuss, debate, argue about, strategize against, and develop a plan for, so that we can push back against these very real threats to put ourselves, our children, and every generation of black child to follow in a position to win. Every Black community must have those things that I just mentioned if that Black community and every Black community that is connected to is going to win. We got to be safe. We got to be able to feed ourselves. We got to be able to educate ourselves, train and employ ourselves. We got to have our own institutions. We got to have our own security mechanisms. We got to have our own intelligence systems and our own policing structures. We got to have our own spiritual development base, our own legal support, our own political movement and machines. We need our own stuff. We need our own stuff across the board in every category. And the only reason we don't have our own stuff in every category is because every single time we've developed that thing that we need to move ourselves forward, it's been targeted for destruction and destroyed on purpose by this U.S. government. So we have to understand our relationship with this government from day one, because it's always been hostile, it's always been antagonistic, and it's always been dangerous for us. So how are we going to face the reality of being Black in 2019 moving forward and establish the kinds of communities that we need to have moving forward? I've given you the list, the snapshot, not complete, not exhaustive, but it's enough for you to get an understanding of what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to give you one example of what we could do starting today to lay an economic foundation that will allow us to put things in place to push back against that list. The list is a snapshot. This is one example of what we could do starting today to put things in place to push back against that list. No movement moves without people. The Black Gold movement is no different. We need people to be involved in this organization, both from a leadership perspective, as cabinet members, as well as everyday supporters from average Black people. If one Black person who cares about Black people go out and get another Black person, has two Black people working together to move Black people forward. If those two Black persons go out and get another two, that's 4 Black people who care about moving Black people forward. If that 4 go out and get 4 more, that's 8. If that 8 goes out and get 8 more, that's 16. If that 16 goes out and gets 16 more, that's 32. If that 32 goes out and get 32 more, that's 64. If we continue to do that, of one Black person getting one Black person for 27 days, by the end of the 27th day, if all of those Black persons that have come together to do something for Black people, one getting one for 27 days, if each one of those Black persons gave $4 per month, that would give us over $500 million per month to push back against this very real list of what it means to be Black in America 2019 moving forward. One Black person who cares about Black people goes out to get another Black person who cares about Black people. They continue to do that, one getting one for 27 days. On the 27th day, if they all agree to give $4 per month to a movement that has focus, that has a plan, that has leadership, that has infrastructure, that's organized and connected, $4 per month to that kind of movement, that's over $500 million that we will have per month to push back against this very real list of what it means to be Black in America. As I've said before, everything we need, we already have. We're not intellectually, physically, economically, or spiritually deficient. Our two greatest issues are that we're not organized and we're not connected. And the Black Gold movement is trying to put us in a position so that we can be connected and that we can be organized. Now, I've given you a very brief snapshot of what we're facing in 2019 moving forward. I've given you a very high-level overview of what every Black community in this country needs to have if it's going to survive and not become a permanent underclass. I've given you a very, 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 very simple example of how we could create the kind of economic support we need monthly that we can all start doing right now to put ourselves in a position to have the kind of communities that we need to push back against this very real list of what it means to be Black in America right now in 2019 moving forward. You have the problem, you have the solution, you have a means to get the solution. Now I'm going to give you another caveat that will put us in a position to use the money that we raise coming together to create a new kind of Black community and how we move forward from that vantage point. Again, you got the problem. I've given you the list. I've given you a high-level understanding of the solution, us having our own space to do our own thing. I've given you a very, 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 very simple example, and that's just one. And trust me, there are several. That's just one that we can start doing today, right now, to put ourselves in a position to win economically. And now I'm going to give you another tenet to something that we could do right now so that we can utilize that money once we start bringing it together. We absolutely must have a leadership base that understands that list of what it means to be Black in America. We have to have a leadership base that understands each and every threat on that list, each and every threat that's not on that list, each and every threat that's coming that's on the horizon that will be part of a new list or add to that list, and knows how to push back. We have to stop as a people in 2019, Black people in America, or melanated people in America, or in America, or ADOS, whatever you want to call us. We have to stop giving a Black person the title of leadership just because he or she can maneuver the white man's political system. We have to stop giving Black people the title of leadership just because he or she can give a good speech or a good sermon. We should only give the title of leadership to a Black person that understands the vision, understands the problem, and is ready, willing, and able to train Black people on the ground nationwide as to how to push back against that problem. If we continue to give Black people the title of leadership as we have done in the past for the last 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, then we're going to continue to get what we've been getting, and we're going to continue to lose. And let me be the first to tell you, if you did not know, as a people, as a collective group, as a collective tribe in this country, we are most certainly losing. We're at the top of every bad list and at the bottom of every good list. But that does not have to be the case. If we have the right people in leadership positions, and if those persons have the right support from our people, then we could start changing the reality of what it means to be Black in this country right now today. We can change how the Black community looks. We can change how it functions, and we can change what it produces, and we can protect all of it if we have the right leadership, the right cabinet to support that leadership, and the right people to support that cabinet and that leadership. So what we're doing, what the Black Gold movement is doing, to build a Black Gold nation so that we can push back against everything that's on that list that I just read to you, we're having a Black Gold nation, Black church, and Black organization survival summit. Survival, because there's no guarantee that we're going to survive if we don't change some things. As a matter of fact, if we don't do something to push back against the current trajectory that we're on, we're going to lose. And our children are going to be in a position to not ever win. If we're going to change that, we got to put some things in place. So we're having an event that focuses on our survival, not just getting by, not just voting, not just raising money for a new business venture, not just the next concert, not just something that deals with one aspect of what we're dealing with. We're going to have a survival summit that deals with 18 different areas that affects our day-to-day life in this country. Our contention in this movement is that we're born into a war that we didn't start. We are surrounded on every front. We're 200 years behind on preparing for this war. And sadly, most of our people have to be convinced that we're in a war. And that's why we're losing. So we're having this survival summit so that we can focus on the things that are destroying us by finding the right people who know what they're doing so that we can push back against these things that are destroying us. So every Thursday and every Saturday, starting next Thursday, we're going to have an event, an online webinar and community forum that we're going to focus on different aspects of what it means to be Black in America and the things that are destroying us. We're going to focus on the major 7 different areas, and we're also going to hit on the supporting 12 other areas so that we can move ourselves forward. In this movement, we do not believe that we are lacking in any area. We have, as a people, every single thing we need to move ourselves forward, but we're not connected and we're not organized. So we have people on the East Coast that are working on a given solution that people on the West Coast could use, but the West Coast doesn't know about it because we're not communicating. And conversely, vice versa, we have people on the West Coast that are working on solutions that our people on the East Coast needs, but we're not connected and we're not organized, so we don't know about what one another is doing. So we have to find those Black persons, those Black organizations that are already doing, because we don't have time to strategize and to study. We got to hit the ground running because we're already behind. As I said, we are born into a war that we did not start. We're 200 plus years behind on preparing for that war, and we're losing because we're surrounded on every front. So we got to find people that already know what to do, they already know how to do, so that we can put them in a position as a people to continue doing on a bigger, better, stronger level. So on October 5th, we're going to have a national rollout of everything we've discussed on every Thursday and Saturday prior to October 5th, which is a Saturday, to give the larger Black nation our solutions as it relates to pushing back against all these different things that are destroying our people. So we're going to focus on 18 different areas that the Black Gold movement already has departments for and has leadership for in most of these departments. We're going to focus on agribusiness, feeding ourselves, business development, both here in this country and abroad, cultural affairs and diplomacy, domestic policy and sustainability, economics and finance, education, employment and training, foreign policy, health and nutrition, information technology, infrastructure and construction, intelligence and defense, legal, media, marketing and PR, national security, politics, spiritual health and well-being. There are already Black people out there that know how to do what needs to be done in these areas. We want you to help us find the Black people and or the Black organizations that are already doing what we need them to do in these areas. If we, the Black Gold Nation, doesn't already have leadership in these positions, we want you to help us bring the right people to the fore so that we can connect with them, support them, and introduce what they are doing on a larger scale to the national Black community. If we're going to win, if we're going to push back against the many things that are destroying us, if we're going to be able to create communities that are connected, that have every single thing we need to stand on our own 2 feet, then we have to have the right people in leadership positions that are moving us forward. And there are already people out there that are doing it. We simply don't know who those people are because, again, we're not connected and we're not organized. We want to make sure that we are connected and that we are organized, and that those people are being supported. Because we believe if we don't do that, again, we're going to continue to lose. So starting next Thursday, every Thursday and every Saturday, we're going to have an event. Excuse me, we're going to focus on the major seven areas that we feel are destroying us. And then we're also going to focus on not necessarily lesser areas. They're just not as critical as the top 7. So these are the top 7 areas that we're going to focus on for the Black Church and Black Organization Survival Summit. The first one, agribusiness and agriculture, being putting systems in place, our own systems that we own and control that can feed us for the next 100 years, moving forward. Community economics, we have to find a way to capture all of the economic activity that's taking place in our communities so that we can own and control it so that our people benefit from it. The convenience stores, the gas stations, the mini marts, the nail salons, hair salons, grocery stores, cleaners, washaterias, all those businesses that represent hundreds of millions of dollars that exist in every Black community in this country, we have to own and control that. We're going to focus on that as well. Community predation and policing, we have to be able to identify the enemies, identify the threats, identify the predators that exist in and around our communities, regardless of color, and deal with them as needed because they are destroying our people. ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, the reparative justice movement, and political power. We have to have a political machine that's always working in our best interest to move ourselves forward. As I mentioned on the list of what it means to be Black in America, politicians are using gerrymandering, gentrification, and redlining to further break up, decimate, pillage, and destroy our communities. If we're going to be able to push back against that, we have to have a political machine that's in place that will allow us to push back against all that. We have to deal with the opportunities in Africa because those opportunities in Africa not only benefits our brothers and sisters there, but also benefits us here, and it's just good business. Again, we outnumber the non-melanated community worldwide 7-1. If we only did business with ourselves, we'd be just fine because we don't need anybody else. They'd be banging on our economic doors to get in and be a part. We need to be able to replace. We need to put ourselves in a position to replace the Chinese labor that's in Africa. We should be able to say to hell with Chinese labor and use African labor because African labor is just as good. There's just as many of them, if not more. And we, African Americans here, Black people here, ADOS here, can put things in place to allow us to start building manufacturing plants there in Africa and here in the US that will allow us to create trade back and forth, business back and forth between ourselves and our people in Africa and around the world. We're going to focus on that. We're going to deal with conflict resolution, spiritual healing, and community development and building. From the time we got here, from the time the first slave arrived in 1619 to now 2019, 400 years later, we have gone through a conditioning process that has conditioned us to think and behave in a fashion that's antithetical to our own progress. We don't deal with conflict resolution. We don't deal with our own conflicts in ways that are not detrimental to our own survival and advancement. We don't deal with our conflict in ways that aren't detrimental to our personal and physical safety. We don't deal with our own conflicts that don't destroy our spirits and our mentality and our emotions and our psyche. We destroy ourselves with how we deal with our own issues. So if we're going to be able to move forward and build the kind of communities that we need, we have to have systems in place that will allow us to deal with our issues with our brothers and sisters in the fashion that's going to move us forward. And if we're not able to do that, we're not going to continue to win. So we're going to deal with those six major issues, but we're also going to deal with I don't want to say secondary, but we're also going to deal with other issues that affect our way of living in this country, which are things like employment and training, foreign policy, health and nutrition, things of that nature. So we absolutely must have a committed conversation of concrete solutions of things we need to do to move ourselves forward. If we don't start to deal with these things in a very specific, methodical, intentional, strategic, and intelligent fashion, in every category where we're losing, we're going to continue to lose. And if we don't start doing this now, in August of 2019 moving forward, then our children aren't going to win. And again, every generation of Black child to follow is not going to win. So what do we need from you to help us make this a success? We need you to be a part of the Survival Summit. We're calling it the Black Church and Black Organization Survival Summit because our people go to church. Bottom line, I am not one of those persons that believe that just because a Black person goes to church or a Black person is religious or a Black person believes in Jesus or heaven or whatever, I don't think they're ignorant. I don't think they're disconnected. I don't think they don't care. I think in every group, no matter be it religious or not, no matter what it is, there are people that care and don't care. There are people that are ignorant and those that are not. There are people that are connected and those that are not. Our people are very religious and spiritual people, and we go to church. So we want to bring as many churches into the fold as possible because we need those Black people to be a part of what we're trying to do. We need as many Black people as possible to be on board in this movement so that we can move ourselves forward as a collective group. We don't do religion in the Black Oak movement. We don't care if you believe in a blade of grass, as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not forcing any kids to do your thing. Believe what you want to believe. We have bigger issues that we have to deal with. So we say the Black church as a part of what we're doing because our people go to church, and a lot of institutions that we control is the Black church. Probably the only institution. So we need Black churches. We need the leadership in the church to be a part of what we're trying to do. And we say Black organization for the very same reason. A lot of our people are involved in organizations that could be beneficial to us. If we're talking about establishing our own communities, establishing our own cities, building our own manufacturing plants, putting things in place so that we can train, educate, and employ ourselves, you don't think we need Black engineers? You don't think we need Black architects? You don't think we need Black scientists? You don't think we need Black people who understand construction? We need all of that. But we already have it. There are organizations that support those disciplines. We need Black teachers. We need Black pilots. We need people who've been in the military. We need Black doctors and Black lawyers. We need our own stuff across the board. But that stuff that we have across the board, they have to support a vision that's about building Black power, because without power, we'll continue to lose. So we say Black Church and Black Organization Survival Summit because we understand that our people, and a lot of our people, are involved in some way with a church and or a Black organization. So we don't want to leave any stone unturned. We want to give any Black person that wants to be a part of a solution to build a better future for Black people to be a part of this Black Summit, this Black Survival Summit. So every Thursday and every Saturday, starting next Thursday, we're going to deal with a critical issue that is destroying Black people. And on October 5th, there's going to be a culmination of everything we've dealt with on every Thursday and every Saturday prior. And we're going to have a national rollout plan via the Black Gold movement as to what we can start doing right now to change the conditions of our people. We need your help because you know people who have solutions to make the lives of Black people better in multiple categories. You may be a Black person that has a solution to make the lives of Black people better in multiple categories. We don't want to compete with you. We don't want to steal from you. We don't want you to be our enemy. Whatever your Black will is, in whatever industry it's in, we want to help you be bigger, better, and stronger by bringing international support to what you're already doing so that as a collective group, we can also be bigger, better, and stronger. The only way we're going to win is if we win together. There is nothing that's affecting you personally, that's affecting your family, that's affecting your community, and or that's affecting Black people. There's nothing that a connected and organized and committed Black community can't push back against and protect you from. There is nothing that you're dealing with in your personal life that a connected, organized, and committed Black community can't deal with, help you through, protect you from, and make you better with. Everything we need, we already have. Everything we need, a Black person is already doing. Everything we need, a Black person has already done. We're simply not on the same page. But the Black Gold movement is going to do the very best we can to fix that. We're going to identify those persons that have an understanding and expertise and knowledge. We're going to put them in a position to build their own cabinet by bringing more people on board to help them do what they're trying to do. And then we're going to roll out that plan nationally on October 5th of this year, so that everybody will know, or as much as possible, this is the problem. This is the solution. This is what we're doing about the problem via this solution. And now you have a choice to be on board or not. If you choose not to be on board, that's on you. But if you choose to be on board, then you are paving a way. You are creating an opportunity for your child, for you, your family, your child, and every generation of Black child to follow, to have an opportunity to build power, to rival the power that's been destroying us for the past 400 years. The post that I made this morning on Facebook from Kwame Ture Soap and Carmichael is talking about why what happens to us happened to us. It doesn't happen because we're stupid, because we're slow, because we can dance, because we're of a certain religious persuasion, because we vote a certain way politically, because we have a certain sexual leaning. We're treated the way we're treated because we're Black, period. Bottom line, end of conversation. We're treated the way we're treated because of the color of our skins. And that's going to continue to happen if we don't put something in place to push back against all of it. Power is never shared. Power is never given. Power only respects power, and power is always taken. We have power to push back against everything that's destroying us. We're simply not organized and connected in the fashion that will allow us to use it. So if you want to be a part of the Black Gold Nations, Black Church, and Black Organization Survival Summit, and you want more information about what we're doing, go to our main website, blackgoldnation.com, click on About, read the mission. If you like the mission, go to our events website and RSVP for a presentation so you can learn more about what we're doing. And that website is blackgold-wakandarising.com. If you want more information about the Survival Summit, on the same website, blackgold-wakandarising.com, click on Survival Summit. Everything is there. If you are a person that has leadership expertise, let us know. We will put you in a position to talk to our people, or be a part of a cabinet that's talking to our people, so you can help us be bigger, better, and stronger in those areas that are already your strong suit and our passions and or interests. If you want to support one of our departments by being a cabinet member or a local representative, let us know. We will put you in a position to do that. If you want to generate revenue for you, your family, a side hustle or whatever, we have revenue generating opportunities for those persons that want to do that. Everything we need, we already have. We simply need to organize ourselves and connect ourselves with one another so we can put these things in place. The Black Gold movement, working to build a Black Gold Nation, is taking advantage of opportunities both here in America and abroad, in Africa. But we're only able to do that because we have the leadership, we have the connectivity, we have the organization, we have the infrastructure, we have the plan, we have the understanding, we have the know-how, we have the expertise, we have the knowledge. We can accomplish much more if we have you joining us. So, blackgoldnation.com, click on About to read more about what we're doing, our message and mission. Black Gold-Wakanda Rising, to RSVP for a presentation and or to sign up to be a part of the Survival Summit. Together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Together, there's nothing we cannot protect ourselves from. And together, we most certainly can win. Being together, being unified is our greatest strength. We have to put multiple layers of security around our children because there are systems in place trying to destroy our children. We absolutely must put multiple layers of security around our children because there are people, there are predators existing in and around every Black community in this country trying to destroy the lives of our people. There are predators that have their hands, their works, their evil doings all around and in the community, and they may not live in the community. We got a lot of work to do, and we have to take that work seriously because no one is coming to save Black people. Ain't nobody coming to save Black people. Sadly, most of our people don't even care about our own people because they've been conditioned not to. We have a lot of work to do. We have to build communities that have influence, value, and power, and that can stand on their own two Black feet without anybody's help. We got work to do. But thankfully, by the grace of God, we have Black people that know how to do the work. We have to find those Black persons. We have to identify those Black persons. We have to vet those Black persons. We have to have a conversation with those Black persons. And then if they prove themselves to be the right Black persons, we have to put them in a position to win. But that will never happen if we can't support them economically, if we can't protect them physically, and if we can't implement their plans on a larger scale simultaneously while we're doing every single thing else that we need to do. We have to be able to chew bubblegum, walk, double dutch, and backflip all at the same time. Yeah, it's unfair, but it is what it is. Again, we are born into a war that we did not start. We're 200 plus years behind on preparing for this war. Most of our people have to be educated to the fact that we're in a war and we're surrounded on every front. We're never going to win focusing on individual success. We're never going to win focusing on just family success. We have to be connected as much as possible because it's going to take all of us to move ourselves forward on in multiple avenues, on multiple levels, so that we can protect one another, build with one another, help heal one another, educate one another, so that we can save ourselves, our children, and again, every generation of Black child to follow. So before I log off, let me make sure I don't have any questions. Thank you, CL, for making it. Thank you, Sister Bunny. Sister Jackie, thank you for making it as well. Brother Michael, thank you. Brother Michael is our ambassador out of South Carolina and Florence. Sister Dorothy, thank you. Sister Wajia, thank you, out of New Jersey. I appreciate it. Brother Sherrod, thank you for making it. Sister Jackie says, hi, Tamani. I'm here in Perry, Georgia. Watching today. Thank you, Sister, for being a part. Brother Edgar, thank you. Sister Tueri, she and I were members of the Shrines of the Black Madonna. She helped raise my children. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful sister. Brother OJ, thank you for making it. Trying to bring their brother on board to be a part of our Black Gold Hustle Centers. Brother Eddie, thank you for making it. I appreciate it. Brother Nicholas, thank you as well. Sister Cherie, thank you. Brother Allen. Sister Linda says, let's go. Shared, viewing from OKC. Precisely, and I want to be referred to as my factual historical identity. Amen. Sister Tank, my sister-in-law, thank you for making it if you are still there. Brother Vince, thank you. Sister Linda says, please state the webinar dates versus saying next Thursday. The dates are too many, sister. It's starting next Thursday, and it's going to be every Thursday and every Saturday until October 5th. The dates are on the website, Black-Wakanda Rising. Click on Survival Summit, and the dates are there. It's too many for me to list, but it's every Thursday and every Saturday from now until October 5th. And also state specific times per time zone on the website. Too much for me to mention here. Brother Byron, thank you. Sister CL, do we have to sign up for this webinar? Yes, you do. You have to sign up for the webinar. You have to see the presentation, and you have to pay a $4 membership fee to be a part of the webinar, as well as to help us fund every single thing that we're trying to do. We are of the mindset that, like the movie Black Panther, if enough Black people give enough money in large enough numbers, then that puts us in a position to win, because we'll have a large amount of money to do some things with. So yes, there's most certainly a fee to be a part. Sister Antoinette, thank you for being there as well. Brother CL, thank you. Your Facebook doesn't allow to get notifications. I don't know why that is. I'll look into it. Coach Carey, thank you. Brother Jonathan, thank you for making it. Brother Keith from high school, thank you for being there as well. Sister Linda says 7 areas: agribusiness, community economics, community policing. There's actually, those are the 7 major areas, and there are 11 other sub areas. And again, all of that is on the website as well. Sister Adaku, thank you for making it as well. Sister Linda says, are y'all aware of the SB being pushed into law, where all African Americans and Black people are arrested on site where the walking? I don't know what SB is, but no, I am not. If you give me more information, I will research it. My cousin Natalie, thank you for making it. Hambone Hampton, thank you. Can someone type those sites, please? If the sites aren't already there, sister, I will provide them. You Talk Fast need a link here. Everything that I'm saying is on the website. It's all there. Danita, thank you for making it. Puni Karima, thank you. Brother Bode, thank you for making it. Sister Danita says, Coach Danita from Gaithersburg, Maryland. We need to stop calling our people Black people. We are carbon people are powerful as unity. Amen. Sister Linda says, man, type out that long website. blackgoldnation.com. That's the main website, blackgoldnation.com. And the events website is blackgold-wakandarising.com. blackgold-wakandarising.com. But I will type it in the comments after the live is done. I'm waiting on type that website, please. Cool. Okay. So thank you guys for making it. I sincerely appreciate it. I will be in touch with anyone that wants to be a part. And always remember 2 things: that no one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely remember that nothing is more sacred. Absolutely nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. So with that, thank you guys very much for being a part. I will be in touch. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.